planned on talking about Sky Sports Halo, which, if you haven't seen, is Sky Sports seems quite tone deaf entry into football content made for women.
Yeah, very tone deaf.
It didn't
Sky
go down
Sports
well.
Lil Sis, it called itself.
Yeah, it didn't go down well.
No.
Mainly, well, I don't know. I don't know how it went down with the target audience of. Well, so lots of women consume regular football content,
Yeah.
and maybe this was an attempt to market it at women who don't consume football content.
Yeah.
If it was an attempt to market it at the women who already do consume football content, it's massively patronizing and really unnecessary because they already consume football content.
Yeah, and football content currently isn't tailored to men just because men are playing the football.
Yeah.
It's just talking about the football.
Yeah, and there are, more opportunities should be afforded to content creators, female content creators.
And they should be made to feel welcome as football fans of men's football, even though they're women.
Yeah, I don't think the way to do that is to have a video of someone assisting a goal and say, "Oh, it's a better combination than matcha and
a hot girl walk."
A hot girl walk." I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think anybody with any sense could have told you it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I always wonder with this kind of absolute marketing disaster, how did it get
as far as it did
signed off? How did not enough people behind the scenes say this is a terrible idea? When as soon as it gets put out, everyone says that's a terrible idea.
And then 4 days later, or whatever it is, they take it down.
Yeah.
It just shows, they're just not the people making these decisions. There are lots of good football content creators. There are lots of good female football content creators. Speak to them. Ask them what sort of content that people are engaging with. Don't just guess and get it massively wrong and look like an idiot.
And then in their statement, they didn't really apologize for being patronizing or sexist or anything. They just said, "We've listened to you and we got it wrong, and we'll keep trying to do this, but we did it in the wrong way." So
it wasn't a wise move.
Yeah. So we don't need to talk about it now, I suppose.
No, they got rid of it.
Has said the right things about it, and it's now been knocked on the head. But it was just a few days of just bizarre decisions from Sky.
I thought they might have doubled down and kept it going a bit longer. I'm surprised they pulled it back as quick as they did.
Did listen to what people
fair
said,
enough.
and they've immediately got rid of it. It seems like not much planning. Anyone, you could come up with that in a day.
Yeah.
How do we market online football content towards women? Well, let's just put these girl boss captions on some football clips.
Yeah.
That's your marketing strategy.
That's surely the first idea you come up with, and then you throw it away.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they didn't think it through, clearly.
No. So I wonder what they'll come up with next.
Yeah. There was some controversy around United when they released a unisex Manchester United shirt, and then the women's sort of fashion cut of the Manchester United shirt, which has sort of come back with the cropped shirts that some manufacturers do. But United's just had a very, very low V.
Yeah, ridiculously low cut. It's women's football shirt.
Which, again, it's like you're not speaking to the people who you're aiming it at. No woman would ever say that what they want from a football shirt. That's not what it's for. It's not a going out top. It's
And the issue there was, you might ask the question, well, they don't make the female players wear that in the games. But United didn't have a women's team at the time when we did that, which was ridiculous in itself.
Yeah, they've had some catching up to do.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to a slightly different episode of Red Army Reaction. We've not got a United men's game to focus on, to talk about for half the episode.
Bizarre.
So, a few different topics of discussion for us.
Yeah, it's a new feeling. There's no disappointment. There's no sort of bones to pick over.
No.
It's quite freeing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's sort of nice feeling over the weekend to not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's worth it.
Yeah, obviously.
But, I've never really appreciated the international breaks before. This one I enjoyed more than usual because I don't really like England qualifiers or anything, but I like the World Cup.
Yeah.
And with these games actually meaning quite a lot for World Cup qualification,
yeah,
I find that exciting.
Yeah, I do this too often, but a different football podcast that I listened to had a World Cup qualifying special, and how is World Cup qualifying is basically the World Cup is basically the sort of the untouched by capitalism. I mean, the
Yeah.
expanding of the World Cup is because they want more money and they want more
Yeah.
eyeballs on it. But from a player's point of view, they're not playing for a transfer. They're not playing for a new contract. They're
They're
playing
playing
to
for the
win the
love of their
game.
country,
That is
yeah.
their only objective. They are desperate to win the game. There's no distractions. There's nothing else going on. And the qualifiers before it, if you look at some of the games that happened this weekend and what they
Yeah.
mean to the countries in which they happened, we come from a country that World Cup qualifying means very little.
Yeah, there's not been any jeopardy since I think David Beckham scored that free kick in 2002. That
Yeah,
was the last time there was any doubt about us qualifying for a tournament.
yeah,
Oh, we did actually not qualify in 2008.
yeah. But in terms of
But generally,
World
yeah,
Cup,
yeah,
we've not. It's been
it's been 30
30
years
years
since
since
we
we
didn't
missed the World
qualify,
Cup,
yeah.
and that was a disaster at the time. That wasn't.
Yeah.
We should have easily qualified. So we're lucky to come from a country that you can sort of ignore the qualifiers. But for the smaller countries, this is the most important week of their,
Yeah, yeah.
of their 4-year cycle to get into those playoffs. And just look at some of the games that went on. You ask an Irish football fan
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
think that international breaks are boring. I don't think they'll give you much.
Yeah, going into international break for Ireland, they basically had to beat Portugal and Hungary in
Yeah,
order to get in the playoffs, which I think
seems
they
very
were sort
unlikely.
of 8-1 to beat Portugal at home
Yeah,
before that game, and then they did. It held till Ronaldo got sent off,
yeah,
but they were still winning before he got sent off. And then they had to beat Hungary, who I think they lost to last time they played them,
yeah, possibly.
and they were 2-1 down with
Decent football
10 minutes
inside,
to go.
Hungary.
Yeah, yeah, they got some good players.
But what?
But it was amazing scenes.
Who was?
Troy Parrott scored 5 goals in the 2 crucial qualifiers, and they won them both, which
Yeah.
is as close as you can get to carrying your country to the playoffs.
I think
There's obviously 2 games to go before they can get to the World Cup. But
I'd love Ireland to get to the World Cup.
yeah,
I
me
think
too. It's been a good while.
Yeah, it really enriches, and especially in the US, that would
Yeah,
be a great atmosphere there for them. I
yeah,
think it'd be good to see.
yeah. Scotland, if they beat Denmark, they'll be guaranteed qualification.
That'd be really
But
good for them.
it's possible they don't even get in the playoffs
Yeah.
if they lose to Denmark. So that's a very big game for them. And Wales, I think, are playing Kazakhstan maybe or Belgium.
Yeah,
Someone I can't remember who Wales are playing, but I think they're in a slightly ropey position.
fair enough.
And Northern Ireland are in the playoffs.
Are they?
Yeah,
I thought
If
they lost to
didn't-
Germany.
Yeah, they didn't get it through the group, but because they won their Nations League group,
Right.
they're guaranteed a playoff spot.
Okay.
Even though they're in a lower tier, it was a bit of a weird move from UEFA. They're in a lower tier than teams that
Finished third and fourth. Or,
yeah.
yeah.
There's better teams than them who didn't win their group because they're in a better group.
Yeah.
But because it would have been better for Scotland to get relegated in the last Nations League cycle, so they could then win their group and get a playoff spot. But they obviously didn't do that. So
Yeah, UEFA's main job is making international football not boring.
yeah,
for
making the Nations League relevant.
11 months out of every 2 years.
Yeah.
It's like they really they have a job on it.
They have to try
It's
and
like
make it mean something.
Yeah, it's like Pizza Hut and making people eat the crusts. They'll just throw anything at it to get to stop the waste of
Yeah.
throwing stuff
The
away.
little garlic and herb stuff they put on the crust of pizza was very nice.
Yeah,
It's worked on me.
yeah. But anything, the ones with the hot dog through the crust.
That's just ridiculous. Or burgers all around
Yeah.
outside of the pizza.
I would go for that. That would be that. So that's the sort of winning your Nations League group equivalent is a hot dog all the way through. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but you might actually tune in.
It makes the boring part exciting.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes there's nothing wrong with a pizza crust.
No,
Yeah,
it's not us they're aiming at.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed the international break. Nigeria are out; they can't qualify for the World Cup now.
Yeah,
They lost to DR Congo, and there's a little mini tournament happening.
yeah,
Between the confederations that aren't Europe because we have too many teams. So it's one team from South America, one team from North America, one team from Asia, maybe,
yeah.
one from Africa, and one from Australia, and the surrounding areas are going into a mini tournament to see who qualifies.
Right.
I think Bolivia are in there and DR Congo, and then there's some I can't remember who it is because New Zealand have qualified.
Yeah,
Australia play in the Asian qualifiers.
yeah.
So I can't remember what team it is. It's not Tahiti. It's not. I honestly can't remember. I don't know if I've ever heard of this country before, but I don't think they're going to do very well
No.
in this
Should
tournament.
we pause and check
I
who it
should
is?
probably look it up. So DR Congo and Bolivia are in it, and New Caledonia
Oh,
have
right.
qualified from
Nice.
the Oceania Football Confederation, and then we don't know who from North America and Asia. So
I mean, that's a good day
yeah,
out for them, at
yeah,
least.
yeah. It's. I'd say they're outsiders for that New Caledonia. I don't think they've ever qualified for a World Cup before.
No, it would surprise me.
Yeah. Cabo Verde have qualified.
Yeah. That's,
The second smallest team or the smallest country to ever qualify for the World Cup?
yes.
No,
Iceland.
second after Iceland.
Did Iceland go to the World Cup?
They have been to the World Cup, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
2018, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Sad.
so yeah, that's a new team. There's a couple of teams that haven't qualified before. I think Uzbekistan.
Yeah, that's amazing for them.
It'll be good. I think the World Cup. It'll be ridiculously big. There's over 100 games. There's
Yeah.
nearly twice as many as there have been before. And it's annoying that sort of Donald Trump will be all
There
over it.
the whole time.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I'm sort of against the expansion of the tournament because it makes getting there less of an achievement.
Yeah. And with these teams we've just been mentioning, the great achievement for them to get to the World Cup, they may well be fodder when they
Yeah,
get there.
yeah,
And you think this team is not worthy of being in the World Cup. They're terrible.
yeah. It's I think the way to get more engagement is to make the qualifiers more interesting and more like a real tournament as opposed to making the World Cup bigger to just
Yeah.
so the last round of qualifying is basically just the first round of the World Cup
Yeah.
rather than making the actual qualifiers a proper event and
Yeah.
getting back to that and making then you can spread it out around the world. You don't need to have just all of it localized to the location of the World Cup. If the last round of qualifiers becomes a real event,
Yeah.
then you can have it. Everyone can play home games. Everyone can get into the World Cup fever a bit earlier. And I think
Yeah.
that would be a better way of expanding and getting more teams closer to the World Cup rather than just
Just
diluting it.
letting loads
Yeah,
more in. Yeah. And it's annoying that it's not a number that divides equally into two.
yeah,
So you have to have the best third place finishes from the group stage and stuff, which is if you come third in a group of four, you don't deserve
yeah.
to go
Just go
through.
home. Yeah,
You've not done well enough to carry on. But that's the way it has to work if you have
yeah,
between 32 and 64 teams. There was talk of them when they first announced there were 48 teams. There was going to be 16 groups of three,
yeah.
but that was not
Have they not had? They've had
feasible.
a tournament with 3-team groups. Has
Maybe,
Europe
but not
had
for a
one?
long time. I don't think it
No,
works.
no, it probably doesn't. No.
They've had they have messed around with the World Cup format before. They've had second group stages, and there was
Yeah,
one where the last four teams went into a group. So then there was
yeah,
no final.
yeah,
There was a game that turned out to function as a final, but
yeah. I think you want as much of it to be just a straight knockout as
yeah,
possible.
but
It's a great format.
you can't have you have to have a group stage.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
can't
don't
have a
think
team going all the way to Canada and playing one game,
no.
and then going all the way back to New Caledonia.
Yeah, let's yeah, some sort of group stage, some sort of minimum guaranteed number of fixtures,
Yeah,
or you just do like they do with the third place playoffs, where you determine every position with a game.
yeah, you could do that.
So if you lose your first game, then you play someone else who lost their game. But then you do end up with a team who goes and loses 7 games
Yeah.
and then goes home, having been categorically
the
come
worst
last
team.
at the World Cup.
Yeah,
Maybe not. Maybe that's a bit harsh.
yeah. We'll probably talk more about the World Cup nearer the time.
Yeah,
Talk about which United players are going and stuff.
yeah,
But,
we've got some plans there.
yeah. But yeah, there's been this international break and the next one in March will be more interesting because they're the last ones before the World Cup.
Yeah.
They actually have something to play for.
Yeah, definitely. With there wasn't too much United involvement. Bruno Fernandes got a hat trick
He did,
for
yeah.
Portugal.
2
to
penalties
see.
there. I'm sure people will point that out.
Yeah, well,
They
all
didn't-
count.
They didn't leave their qualification up to any doubt. Portugal, they beat Armenian 9-1.
Yes, without
Fernandes wasn't the only player who scored a hat trick.
without Cristiano on the field as well, which he would have been gutted
Yeah.
to not stat pad in that
He
game.
needs all the opportunities he can get.
I know he could have got another 3 or 4 there towards his goal.
Well, he's going to miss the first 2 games of the World Cup now.
Is it?
Probably. I think so.
I
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
if
just
it's
the first game.
confirmed yet, but it might just be the first one. But think it depends whether they class it as violent conduct or not
Right.
or something, but he'll be fuming about that as well.
Yeah, but it means they're more likely to get through to the later
Yeah,
stages.
but then he's never scored a World Cup knockout goal, Ronaldo. He's
Yeah.
played in 5 World Cups, I think, and he's scored a fair few goals, but they're all in the group stage.
Yeah, yeah. It's not going to happen. Ronaldo isn't going to win the World Cup
No,
at the age of 40.
but it's fine because he said to Piers Morgan that it's not a dream of his to win the World Cup. It doesn't
Okay.
make him the complete player, or it doesn't change what
No.
legacy he has in football. Even though before the last World Cup he said it was an absolute dream.
Yeah,
But
and then Messi won it.
won it, so now he can't claim that winning the World Cup makes you a better player.
Yes, I think Ronaldo may have maybe somewhat of a egotist. I think
Yeah,
it's not the
the
boldest claim.
interview he did with Piers Morgan was so ridiculous.
I haven't watched it.
I've not seen much of it, but it's worse than you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's just Piers Morgan saying, "So how many cars have you got? Well, how much money have you got? Wow, you've got that much money. Oh, that's amazing. So who do you think's better looking, you or David Beckham? Yeah, it's you. I agree, it's you. Yeah."
Yeah. Have you seen there's a trend? It might not be a trend. Maybe it's just someone I follow on Twitter whose response to basically every piece of criticism is everyone is 12 now. And basically everyone has regressed online to have the mentality of a 12-year-old. And yeah, how many cars have you got is such a 12-year-old question.
Yeah. He doesn't know, apparently. He's lost count.
I bet he doesn't.
And then they did a weird panel thing afterwards with a team of experts that Piers Morgan spoke to about the interview.
Yeah.
With Richard Keys and Mark Goldbridge and
that Carell Prince was on there, wasn't he? Yeah.
It was just bizarre.
Very odd. Very odd.
Yeah.
The sort of cult of personality around Ronaldo has always confused me.
Casemiro scored for Brazil.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Mateus Cunha played as well, but it was a decent goal from Casemiro.
Yeah. Ancelotti seems to have got them playing looking like a proper team again.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good players. They were never that was always going to get them so far. Having a really good tournament manager as well. I think they'll fancy themselves going into this tournament.
I mean, if for them it's it'll be 24 years since they last won the World Cup, which is quite a few for them.
It's a long time for Brazil.
So they've done basically who's the best manager at winning cup competitions? Well, let's get the guy who's won
5 Champions
Leagues.
I think it would be the ultimate victory over Jamie Carragher if Casemiro plays every game as Brazil win the World Cup.
Yeah, he should get a tattoo. So leave the football before the football leaves you.
With him, with the
World Cup.
Yeah, that would be a great.
Oh, I'd love it if Casemiro won the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I do want England to do well, but most of that is because they have my favorite United players are English, and I want them to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
If none of them go, I'll still be happy.
Rashford who's out on loan,
who's going to leave in the same summer that he does it.
Yeah.
I'll be happy for Rashford. I like Rashford as a person.
And I'd probably rather England win it than anyone else.
It would be bittersweet watching Rashford win the World Cup not being a United player and England win the World Cup without any of the other United players.
Yeah, no Harry Maguire, which is weird. You'd think he'd be in the squad.
Yeah, I mean...
He's never let England down, you know?
Yeah, Gareth would pick him even if he only had one leg.
Yeah.
But, the real tragedy is the player who got man of the match in the semi-final of the last tournament England went to, started the final as the youngest England player to start a final, is not got a hope in hell of going.
Nowhere near the squad, yeah.
If he does go on loan, which is, I don't want, but it might be the best thing for him, and then has a really good 6 months, maybe he'll go.
Yeah, it's not out of the question. The fact that he's not played under this manager, and this manager is only here for this World Cup, means it's unlikely. No matter how well he does.
And he sort of came into the team for England when there wasn't a great dearth of talent in centre midfield. There is now 2 players that have come up and surpassed him in Wharton and Anderson, who both look much more likely to start. Yeah, obviously, Rice and Bellingham are the 2 of the best midfielders in the world. So to get ahead of not to get ahead of all 4 of them, but to get into the mix of them 4 is going to be a big job in 6 months football.
There's already conversations about do you have room for Jude Bellingham in the team?
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult for Mainu to get himself in there. But I don't want to talk about whether Wharton is better or Mainu, because I think that's
reductive.
That's not for us to debate right now.
Yeah.
But Mainu was clearly far ahead of Wharton in the pecking order for England, and then he stopped playing football. So
it's an odd one.
It's no wonder that Wharton has gone ahead of him. But this doesn't mean that Wharton's a better player.
No, it's a black mark against our current selection policy.
We've just stopped playing Mainu. He's not stopped being good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know if I want him to go on loan or not. I don't because I want him to play every game for United instead.
Yeah, but
But
if you
I'd
look at
rather he
paths
was on
forward,
loan than
yeah,
on the bench.
yeah. If you look at pathways forward for Kobe Manu, the worst case is staying at United and never playing.
Yeah,
The best case is staying at United and playing, but that relies on other factors. Either a very stubborn manager changing his mind, which he's done on a very few occasions,
yeah,
or the manager changing, which is getting less likely, or Kobe Mainu becoming something else. And we don't really want him to do that. He's
no,
a very enjoyable player to watch in his current style. You don't want him to become a shuttler or a destroyer. We want him to be that sort of creative, player who drives with the ball and gets the team up the pitch quickly, and that's what he's been. If that's not in keeping with the manager's plans, then it's a no-win situation, really.
yeah. Because the scenario we all want to happen seems the most unlikely, which is that he
Yeah, he
starts
just
playing
starts
in the
playing
team.
and is good, and
Yeah.
we never
Um,
look back.
yeah, I would suppose I would take him going out on loan if I believed that that would be he goes out on loan, does well, comes back and plays,
Yeah,
rather than he goes out on loan, does well, and then leaves permanently. I don't,
yeah,
but
definitely.
that's certainly not out of the question.
No, no.
That would make me very sad. Um, one United team that did play
Yeah,
last week was our women's team. Played our first Champions League game at Old Trafford,
yeah. No.
which I went to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we won.
That's we did
3 out
win.
of 3 in the group stage, which is only one of 3 teams to do that.
Yeah,
Um, Mary Earps got a bit of a odd reception.
yeah. Which I didn't really see coming. I think probably if she hadn't spent the week previously making a rod for her own back in the press by
Yeah,
slagging off lots of other people, then I don't think people would have had too much negativity towards her. But she did do that, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
turned up at Old Trafford, and people seem to,
Well, it was weird. The first time she got the ball, quite a few people booed,
yeah,
and then quite a few people were like, "Well, that's so mean," and then
yeah,
all started cheering her. And then every time she got the ball, there would be some people booing and some people cheering. I'm like, I understand you have to counteract it, but it's one thing booing an opposition player. You can't be all cheering for the opposition goalkeeper.
no,
That's too far the other way. If you
yeah,
don't agree with booing, there's no way to just stop everyone else booing. So you
no,
have to sort of balance it out. But it's all weird if everyone claps and cheers when the opposition goalkeeper gets the ball.
yeah. When she picks the ball out of the back of her own net,
Yeah. Um,
but
and I didn't know if people were booing her because she left or because of the autobiography thing.
yeah, maybe. I
Um,
think there was a bit of, I don't know. She left not under a storm, but she left in sort of reasonably poor terms. You don't want your best players leaving on a free
no.
and going. She didn't do what Russo did and go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
It could be worse, but she didn't do right by the club in some people's eyes, I think.
Yeah.
But also the club didn't do very right by her. There was a period where they basically binned off the women's team.
Yeah. And didn't give the best players new contracts and let
Yeah.
them leave for free. But you know the what she said in the autobiography was about Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, not really to
The
do with United
main
at all.
bits she was criticised for, who plays for Chelsea and has nothing to do with United.
Yeah.
So it would be weird if we were then taking her side. But I'm looking at this through a sort of men's football perspective, I suppose, and it is
Yeah, yeah. It's an
different.
interesting one. What was the match day experience like? Was it very different?
Well, the tram ride was very different in that it was a lot emptier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think
They sell
they
about
sold
15,000 tickets, I think.
14,000 and something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it sold as well as they were hoping
No.
because they were still pushing discounts and stuff up until the game, basically. But you have to, you want them to be able to play games at Old Trafford, big games, and for it to be worth it.
Yeah, I wonder what the minimum sort of return they need. Like 15,000 is a good crowd, and you won't get 15,000 people going to Lee. So
No,
if it's 15,000 quite regularly, I think they'd take that.
yeah,
The issue is how many people went as a one-off because they marketed it so hard. How do you get those people to keep going, and
yeah,
how do you get more people to keep going? Like if you look at the Emirates for a Champions League game, they get like double that
yeah,
quite regularly. I think it's United sort of their chickens coming home to roost, where if you make it as a club not a priority, you can't
yeah,
then expect the fans to buy in with a week's notice.
yeah,
Whereas if
yeah,
you look at all of Arsenal's marketing, all of their media, their kit day, it's all equal, the men's team and the women's
Yeah,
team. There's
and
loads
City
of
have done that as well. They did it a couple of years ago where they like all the social media and everything.
they
They
just
have
have
one
one,
account. It's Man City. It's not Man City men and Man City women.
yeah,
We're
and
all
you
Man
you
City.
get you get dividends for that. You get it back
Yeah,
by fans of the men's team. I think there are some fans of the men's team who, no matter what you do, could not care less about going to see United women, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's up to them. But there are a large of people who are big fans of United and want to engage with the club in more ways and want
yeah.
more opportunity to
And
engage
want
with the club.
any United team to
Yeah,
do well, and you want to support them.
and this is a good way of getting more engagement. And if you prioritize it and you make it seem like it's one big thing, you're not asking people to buy into another team. You're just saying this is another part of being a United fan.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what you need to get to, and they've got left themselves some work to do
yeah, yeah,
by underinvesting and sort of ignoring the women's team for quite a while.
yeah. It was sort of only a little bit of the south stand and most of the north stand. Well, the bottom tier of the north stand that they
Yeah,
opened. Um,
and they are playing catch up,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
absolutely. They
also their
didn't have a
fault.
women's team for so long, which just blows your mind, really.
Yeah,
Even now, we've had a women's team for a few years. It seems like, well, obviously, Man
obviously
United
United
have a
have a
women's
women's
team.
team.
Why would they ever not do that?
Yeah,
And players like Ella Toon play. We still had a women's academy, and Ella Toon, who's a massive United fan and always has been, had to leave because we
yeah,
didn't have a team for her to join. And
yeah,
then as soon as we did, she came back. It's like there's probably lots of players from the area who could have been
yeah,
really good,
absolutely, yeah,
and then at that point you're just developing them to go and play for other teams because we don't have one,
yeah,
but we have got one, so that's a step in the right
yeah,
direction. And if we do get to the latter stages of the Champions League, which looks like we might at least get out of the
yeah,
league phase, I hope they have more at Old Trafford. I'm sure they
yeah, yeah,
will. I think
definitely, yeah.
they would.
If
Um,
if they get a like another big foreign team coming,
yeah,
then yeah, it's a great opportunity, to get more people in there and get more exposure on this team. That's
yeah.
what everyone wants.
Um, there were a lot more children there than at
Yeah,
United
I've seen
games.
that said.
I think that's probably affordability as well as
Yeah,
sort of it is a friendlier atmosphere.
yeah,
Um, so it's probably a nicer place to take children. But I think that you could take children. There's no issue with taking children to a men's game. It's not hostile
no,
to the point of putting them off. But it is much more affordable.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if you've
definitely.
got 4 kids or whatever, you want to take them to a United game.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
think
sense.
I've seen it used as criticism of women's football, or perhaps a limiting factor to the atmosphere of women's football is that it's too nice. And some
Yeah,
people would say that that's
it's
not an
not a bad
issue.
thing.
Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be. We're sort of, again, coming at it from an ingrained view of what men's football is like,
yeah,
but without that sort of animosity, it's difficult to. It gets your energy up
yeah.
to
It
a
does, and
certain. It gets the
passion.
crowd up to a certain degree if there is that hostility.
Yeah,
Whereas when there isn't that, and there's, it would be like not having away fans. It
yeah,
doesn't. It would take away a certain aspect of it
yeah,
that does energize people and allows for a more uh, boisterous, should we
yeah.
say?
Lively.
Yeah,
And
livelier
obviously,
atmosphere.
in men's football, you get more hooliganism and
Yeah,
abuse,
yeah, definitely.
which is a sort of byproduct of that tribalism and hostility. But it's probably the most extreme people who would abuse players and hooligans and stuff who are the least likely to
Yeah, I don't
support
think.
women's football.
Yeah, I don't think it's. There's a big gap
Yeah,
between
yeah,
the worsts of men's football and where women's football is currently.
yeah, yeah. So it's I would like to see atmospheres become. I want it to be nice, a nice place to go, but
Yeah, definitely.
there's somewhere probably in the middle.
Yeah, hostility is probably not the right word, but yeah, a bit more, competitiveness and
Yeah, yeah,
fire perhaps is not. I'm not going to say holding back the women's game. The women's game is growing
yeah,
massively, and it's going from strength to strength. But it's something that I think would be leveled as a criticism by people who don't go. As
yeah,
a reason they don't go is the sort of nicer atmosphere isn't
yeah,
what they want to go to the football for.
yeah. And maybe women's football doesn't need to concern itself with
No,
those
probably,
people's
maybe not.
opinions. I don't know, but I had my first Bovril of the year.
Oh wow,
Um,
Nice.
That was nice.
That's
Yeah.
that's the Bovril section over.
Yeah. But I think it was a little not cold enough, to be honest, for the Bovril.
For the Bovril,
I think I
wow.
went a bit
You've gone too
soon.
early. You've
Yeah.
shot your Bovril wad too early.
Lovely phrase. Also, we were sat very close to the pitch, and the weather was absolutely awful, so we got wet
Oh, nice.
from our seats, which wasn't
what you like.
pleasant. So maybe I'll go a couple of rows further back next time.
But good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Yeah,
good result for the
good performance. Yeah,
United.
it was annoying to concede right before half time.
It was a great goal, though.
It was, yeah, and I already didn't like that Olga Carmona from Euros final.
Yeah.
Well, the World Cup final and the Euros final, both of which we played in Spain.
Yeah.
And yeah, she didn't warm to her, and then she went and did that, so that was annoying. But we had the last laugh.
We did.
It was a great goal, the second goal as well. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen it from Rolfo. Like a very nice team goal. So
Yeah.
I think we did deserve the win. PSG came and went. They sort of ebbed and flowed in the game, but it was a deserved victory.
I really like Jess Park. That her involvement in the second goal was really good. She carried the ball really well, and she's just a. It was a really odd situation in the summer, the signing, but I think it has worked. She seems to have settled in really well, and she's just a nice player to watch. I just enjoy the way she moves on the ball.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not gonna go to Lee to watch United women play in the Women's Super League. It's unlikely, but I think the derby is at Old Trafford, so hopefully that sells well.
Yeah.
And I think they will have future Champions League games in there. I didn't realize that they had a different Champions League anthem for the Women's Champions League.
I don't know if I did.
I've not heard the Champions League anthem in a few years, obviously.
No,
in the ground, and then it was different.
Were you hoping for the?
I was. I thought. I thought it would be the same one, but it was all right. I just didn't know. I couldn't sing along.
I hadn't considered that. They've got a real opportunity with United's men's team having so few midweek games and also no European football to, they can really push it and get people in.
So I hope they do.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be such a shame to waste this opportunity and then next season go back to, you can't play midweek games there because the men's team are playing.
Yeah. Lee Sports Village has also got a new name, which I didn't realise. It's called the Progress and Unity Stadium or something. Something daft. So I'm not going to start calling it that.
No, we'll call it Lee Sports Village.
Yeah. But it'd be nice for when we have a new stadium if the women's team didn't have to play in Lee anymore.
Yeah, they should be playing. It should be one stadium and they can play there, whichever team it is. And it's been encouraging when they've talked about the stadium. They've always remembered to mention the women's team.
Yeah, and the same when they revamped the training ground. Although part of the revamp meant that women had to go back to the porta cabins. But
while they are now redoing that part of the stadium, of the training ground, they've talked about wanting to host the Women's World Cup final there and wanting to host more women's games there, and hopefully they can build it in a way that means you can segment it better and open parts of the stadium more cost effectively. So, because I think they you'd be running at a loss if you open Old Trafford for like 2,000 people.
Yeah.
The infrastructure and the staffing it takes to get people in and out you probably wouldn't make that much money.
Yeah.
Rather than a stadium. If you have a stadium that is built to scale up and down, then it should be much more sustainable to do.
Yeah. And in theory, it should be fine if you lose money on the women's games and have to subsidise them with the men's games because they're more popular. But it is possible to make money from both.
Yeah, it is.
Arsenal do. And
they don't need to. But perhaps it's a case of the cart following the horse, and they need to the cart before the horse, and they need to take a bit of a hit, getting people in and getting people used to going to Old Trafford to watch the women's team rather than it being a special occasion.
Yeah.
That'd be but they don't always make the wisest business decisions.
No. I've got some prime international break content to talk about.
Nice.
Obviously,
is it the Boxing Day of 1968 results?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But all the players must have been on the piss on Christmas Day.
Is it that shop that still sells Coca-Cola the old-fashioned way?
No, it's not, and it's not the Luton away end or Peter Lovencrantz dog.
Who's Peter Lovencrantz dog?
So
is it a dog in a Rangers shirt?
Yeah, he played for Rangers. And he tweeted an Instagram link on Twitter saying, 10 today. Happy birthday, beautiful boy." And
Yeah.
someone replied without clicking on the link saying, "Hope he grows up to score goals against Celtic like his old man."
Yeah.
And then when you click on the link, it's
It's
his
his
dog.
dog.
So someone photoshopped a dog's head onto the body of a Rangers player,
Yes.
which was a funny meme. And then it got absolutely overdone. And now it's sort of got a new life of people going to Halloween as Peter Lundgren's dog
Yeah.
and going on pub crawls and stuff.
Nice.
And it's, yeah, I quite enjoy that one,
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
funny.
not what we're talking about.
Anyway.
Um, BBC Sport, in their infinite wisdom, asked all of their, or a selection of their pundits and presenters, to think of a new, if you could change one rule in
Okay,
football,
great. I
what would
love
it
these.
be? And I just wanted your take on all of them, really.
Nice. Yeah, we can go through these.
So Theo Walcott says, some of them have taken it a bit more seriously than others.
Yeah.
Theo Walcott says goals from outside the box should count double in the last 10 minutes.
No, I think that's
Yeah, I
stupid.
don't like that.
That's like halftime multi-ball.
Yeah,
That's like,
yeah.
I can sort of, so the closest thing to that is like that we had in regular men's football is the away goals rule.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really, some goals count more than other goals.
No. People said away goals count double, but
They
they
don't.
don't. That's just the sort of legalese way of saying it, where if it's level, you go through if you've got more away goals. But away goals don't count double. It's only brought in if it's a tie.
Yeah, I think maybe the Theo Walcott's equivalent of that is that the tiebreaker should be whoever scored the most goals from outside the box,
Yeah.
which is stupid.
And there is sort of this thing with XG and everything now, players are discouraged from shooting outside the box because it's not a high quality chance. But if you got 2 goals for scoring outside the box,
yeah. I don't think that's the way. I think football is is the game. And
yeah,
you
that's
shouldn't,
too fundamental.
Yeah, you shouldn't
change.
adulterate the game by encouraging some things other than others. Like, so the major rule changes in football have been to discourage real rubbish ways of playing.
Yeah.
The pass back rule, the changing the offside rules have been to stop teams, to make the game more watchable.
Yeah, and stop them from sort of breaking the game.
Yeah, but through discouraging bad play, I don't think you should incentivize people to play in a certain way.
No.
Like, you get whoever has the most passes gets a bonus goal or something. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
There is one metric
if you
which is
the opposition.
there is one metric which is the ball goes in the net.
Yeah.
And that's what you optimize for. And there are lots of different ways of doing it. And yeah, I think we need to keep it as it is.
Yeah. Ellen White, I don't think this was entirely serious. The keeper has to go up for every corner.
Yeah. I prefer it
to goals outside the box.
Yeah.
Double. Yeah.
It would lead to some madness.
Lead to some ridiculous
Yeah.
things. It would happen at least once a game that someone scored from the halfway line.
Yeah.
The keeper out of his net.
There's that really weird quirk in the rules that's always a quiz question that I can never remember what it is. I think it's something like if you score an own goal direct from a corner.
It's direct from a goal kick.
No, like if you...
It's a corner.
Maybe?
I think that might be a different rule, but I think if you score an own goal direct from a goal kick...
I think if you've got an attacking corner and you score an own goal
right,
direct, it doesn't count. I think it turns into like a goal kick for them. There's some weird quirk of the rules, which would maybe...
Would people do that?
No, but it makes it more likely if there's no
purpose,
goalkeeper in the net. Yeah, nonsense, yeah.
But yeah, I think if you do score an own goal direct from a goal kick, it's a corner to the other team.
Really?
Which, I don't think it's ever happened. How on earth would that happen? You can't. The keeper can't pass it backwards to a defender from a goal kick, can he? No one can be inside the 6-yard box.
The keeper can be inside the 6-yard.
The keeper can be inside the 6-yard box.
The keeper doesn't have to take
it to anyone in the.
No, but there's lots of weird
you have
goals
to factor
where
these things in just in case.
Yeah, where they go and try and pass it across the back, and they accidentally get the angle wrong and pass it straight into the net.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yeah,
it's weird that I don't think they needed a specific rule for that.
No. This is probably the most boring one. Danny Murphy says you should be able to pass to yourself from corners, free kicks, and throw-ins.
Yeah, it wouldn't change much. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, don't mind. I know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I think so corners. No one's doing that, are they? Really?
No, probably not.
There's one that I can think of, but the only reason that worked was because it was a massive surprise.
And the other team didn't know.
Yeah,
Was that where United
did it, where he took the corner about 3 centimeters and then ran over. The other player ran over and got it and dribbled into the box.
Yeah.
That only worked because no one knew what the hell was going
Yeah,
on.
if you could just do that.
then no one would be like, "Oh my god, he's coming straight at us."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then most free kicks, like you would just pass it. Like it doesn't.
It's not going to change anything, really. Arsene Wenger once argued that you should be able to kick it in from a throw-in, but
Yeah,
then it becomes a free kick.
yeah. I think that was sort of a way of just making more football happen, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. It would fundamentally change the game, but I think it would all shake out in the end, and that you would end up with basically the same things happening.
Yeah. Neda Manua says you should get a bonus point for scoring 2 goals. So presumably that means a point on the league table rather than a goal.
Yeah, so I presume it's like in Six Nations where if you score 5 tries, you get a bonus try.
Yeah.
I think. Or maybe you get a bonus point. Yeah, you do. You get a bonus point. Yeah, I don't...
I've seen a couple of suggestions before of how to combat 0-0s. So, like, if it's 0-0, nobody gets a point.
Yeah.
But I think that's fine. It's the art of defending, Defending is as important as attacking.
Absolutely.
You've both defended well. Neither of you has attacked well, but it's not an issue if it's 4-4 because neither of you have defended well.
Yeah, and I don't think no one looks at the 100 meters and thinks, do we need to change any rules to make this more interesting?
Yeah.
It's just about who's the best.
Yeah.
The rules of football are in order to get a good game of football, but they don't have to be optimized in terms of making it as entertaining as possible.
No.
It's a competitive thing.
Yeah. And I can be very happy with a 0-0, even if it's been a very dull game. I've not been entertained by the game.
Yeah.
But I might be happy with the result of a 0-0.
Yeah.
I said this to someone I used to work with because he was a United fan, but he was just like, I can't be bothered watching United at the minute. It was so dull.
Yeah.
But I said, I don't watch United for entertainment.
No.
And he was very shocked by that.
I know.
But I watch United for glory, I suppose.
Yeah. If you want an example of a sport that's been optimized for entertainment, just take a look at boxing, in which Anthony Joshua is going to fight Jake Paul as a heavyweight.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's a dreadful idea. Everyone will watch. It's not good boxing. It's not good for the sport of boxing.
It's good for the viewing figures.
It's good for Netflix.
Yeah. And it's good for their bank accounts.
Yeah. And if you want, maybe this might undermine the whole segment. If you want stupid rules, watch the Baller League. Regular football. We don't need to optimize it for entertainment. It's entertaining enough. Winning the league is entertaining, and getting promoted is entertaining.
Yeah.
And having a great day, as a result of that, is what it's about, because of the team you choose to support. It's not about the most interesting things that happen over a 90-minute period.
Yeah. Definitely don't watch the Baller League.
No.
Also, everyone's saying with the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua thing, there's 2 things that will happen, which is either it's a real fight and Anthony Joshua will knock out Jake Paul and possibly kill him, or it'll be a farce and they won't be able to hit each other properly to avoid that happening, and then Joshua will win on points and it'll be pointless. What was the point of that? It was clearly not a real fight.
Yes, there's no world in which it should be remotely competitive.
No.
So if it is remotely competitive, you know that it's not real.
Yeah. A couple more on here. Gabby Logan says that there should be a time limit on VAR of 90 seconds. And if it's not clear and obvious in that time, then it's obviously not clear and obvious.
Yeah, I think
with anything like that, there'll be a case where, well, maybe not 90 seconds is a fair amount of time, but clearly it sometimes does take that long to determine it. And it'll be the case where if you'd have just looked at it a little bit longer, you would have got it right. But now you've got it wrong.
Or if you'd have just drawn that line a bit quicker, then we would have won the league.
Yeah.
If you hadn't taken so long finding that 5 seconds of footage that he asked for, we would have won the league.
They might be, then you'd get the VARs rushing to get it done.
This is unrelated. I saw there was we all remember what game it was, where United had a goal disallowed for offside, and then they showed the lines on the pitch, and they were completely skew. They weren't in line with the pitch at all. Was it like a West Brom game or
I
did
think it
Mata
was
score?
against Huddersfield in the FA Cup. It
Yeah.
was when they were trialing VAR in the FA Cup before they brought it in the league.
Was it Mata scored?
Yeah.
And I think, to give them the benefit of the doubt, I think he was offside by a regular line.
Yeah.
But they put lines on the pitch that were so skewed that basically meant that most of the team were offside.
Yeah, like you could see the line of the edge of the box, and then the VAR line was like that.
Yeah,
and also just looked ridiculous.
Yeah, the really confusing thing is the lines weren't straight.
Yeah,
which surely you're not hand drawing it with a ruler or something. Surely that's like it's a piece of software. You just put a straight line on.
Yeah, maybe they clicked the wrong tool.
Well, the wiggly line.
Doing the line, it was the pencil.
Maybe. We've moved a long way since then with the robot VARs and the robot offsides and stuff. I think the biggest mistake VAR made was using the term clear and obvious, because it's so subjective that no one's ever been able to say the whole point of VAR was to objectify subjective decisions, was to say, mainly because of how much money is involved, you can't have something where the linesman doesn't think it's offside, but it turns out it is.
Yeah.
So you have to make it as repeatable and as perfect as you can. And having a threshold one side or the other, where on this side we correct the decision and on this side we let the wrong decision go. No one's going to be happy with that. If it's there's always going to upset someone if once their decision falls on the wrong side of that threshold.
Yeah.
And we have it with United where, a penalty gets overturned. You say, well, it probably was a penalty, but it wasn't an obvious enough mistake to make it a penalty. Like, but you've just admitted it was a penalty.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's obviously wrong that not giving a penalty for a penalty.
Yeah.
As soon as you introduce that subjective threshold again, you're
just admitting that sometimes you deliberately give the wrong decision.
Yeah, it's never gonna. There's always an opportunity for someone to be unhappy.
Yeah, and then there's an independent panel who vote on all the key match incidents after every weekend, and they vote on whether it was the wrong decision or not, and whether it should have been intervened. So there'll be like they voted 4-1 that it should have been a penalty, but 2-3 that
they should have just left it not be a penalty.
Yeah, like it's just a bit. But then it's an impossible thing to do because the rules are so subjective.
Yeah,
what it ends up being is the referee on the pitch thought this, and the referee in the VAR thought something else. So he gave what he thought.
Yeah.
So it's just a different referee's opinion. And if they were the other way around, then it could happen the other way around.
Yeah, definitely. And so maybe Gabby Logan's right. Maybe a time limit is a fairer way of doing it than an objective. I think that you've got it wrong, but I don't think you've got it wrong enough to tell you you've got it wrong.
Yeah.
I think
go on.
There's, but the issue for VAR is it's never going to be. You're never going to make everyone happy.
No,
it's impossible.
Yeah. There's been talk of the managers having a certain number of challenges throughout a game.
I don't like that. I think I'm all right in tennis where it's the player doing it. I don't like the manager shouldn't affect the game. The manager can tell who's playing the game, how to play the game, and pick who's playing the game. But the manager shouldn't have any influence on the game.
What if it's a player manager?
All right. Well, there's not been one of them for ages.
No, they don't seem to happen anymore. Maybe it's Sunday League.
Gigs for a bit.
Yeah, I think he had 3 games as a player manager.
Edgar Davids. Was he
the
most
player
notable?
manager at Barnet?
Yeah, I think so.
Got sent off like 5 times or something.
And then who was the one? There's that story of Fergie saying, if we score the first goal, he'll bring himself on.
Yeah, it was Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, he'll bring himself on, and then they'll overrun, and we'll get 2 or 3.
And it
did work.
Exactly like that,
I wonder how many games before the game Fergie said exactly what was going to happen, and it didn't happen, and everyone forgot because he was terrifying.
No one told that on the after dinner circuit.
Presumably, he had a pretty clear picture in his head of every game.
Yeah, but it can't always have been right.
Always have been right, or he would have won more games.
This one I can't see causing any issues with subjectivity. Alan Shearer says he fixed the handball rule, and he'd make it quite simple. Just say it has to be deliberate.
Yeah, I get his point. When they kept changing the VAR handball rules, I think it was Duncan Castles was saying how humans have sort of evolved to recognize intent. And I think if you survey people and you gave them a load of clips, like a real time clip of players handballing it,
Yeah.
I think they'd have a pretty good success rate. I don't think footballers in that heat of the moment aren't very good actors. I don't think they would. I think you could probably tell with maybe with a similar level of accuracy as the the natural position thing,
Yeah.
but I think people could tell. I think you can tell if someone's done something on purpose or if they've genuinely slipped or if like
Yeah.
so like the Odegaard one against Liverpool that didn't get
Where
given,
he was
where
sort
he
of
sort of
tripping over
slips and
and
he
he
is sort of
swipes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone can. I don't think he could do that on purpose. I think
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to
yeah.
say.
I
I thought
don't
you were going
think
to say everyone could tell he deliberately swiped the ball away and got away with it because he was happened to be falling over.
no. I don't think he could do that on purpose. I think he was falling and that was his movement. And maybe we've proved it. Maybe you can't.
Yeah,
Maybe you can't always tell subjectivity and
I
intent.
need to watch it again. But then there's the question of if your arm is up here, but you don't mean for the ball to hit it, or if it's gonna go in and you just happen
Yeah,
to have
yeah.
your arm out here and it hits your arm. Well, I've not moved my arm into the way of the ball. It wasn't deliberate. I just happened to have my arm there.
But then you
So
can.
that's not handball.
But then you might not have deliberately handballed it. But did you deliberately put your arm there
Well,
to
yeah, but that's
maximize?
not what the ruling is. It's deliberate handball. You've just put your arm
Well,
somewhere.
is this not the
I know
case
you
of
didn't
like?
know the ball was going to go there.
This is the case of like, oh, I'm just going to do this, and if you get punched, then that's your fault. Like, I didn't punch him. I didn't deliberately punch him.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've not deliberately handballed it, have you? Or I mean, there's obviously that's an extreme example, but
Yeah,
you could have your arm away from your body,
yeah,
and then the ball deflects off someone or something, and it's going in, and it hits your arm and doesn't go in,
yeah,
and that's fine
yeah.
because you've not deliberately handballed it.
I think the fundamental issue that we often come back to is penalties. Penalty is too harsh a punishment for
For
almost
most
everything that
cases,
gets you a penalty.
yeah,
It's most handballs in the box aren't someone stopping a goal going in. And
no,
that a penalty is an 80% chance of a goal. It's like a 77% chance of
yeah.
a goal.
And the incidents leading to a penalty would be a
Much,
lot less
yeah.
than that if you calculated it.
And so I think for things like fouls, it's probably a just punishment because you want to discourage people from fouling in the box.
Yeah,
But like a handball where the ball deflects off your hand, you can't really control. It's just as likely to send it to one of their players as it is to send it to
yeah,
one of
yeah.
yours.
That's just luck.
Yeah, it's basically just dumb luck. And most of the time, it's not a shot that's going towards the goal.
Yeah,
It's such a big escalation from something completely innocuous
yeah.
to a basically
Almost
guaranteed
guaranteed goal.
goal.
Yeah. I mean, I am grateful for the dodgy handball rule because it gave us one of the best moments we've had in the last few
Yeah,
years, which was Rashford's penalty at PSG,
yeah,
which
yeah.
was we were needed a goal. Dallo had a shot from about 30 yards, so it was not going to go in.
No, it was going. I mean,
And it happened to hit Kimpembe's arm. He was facing the wrong way, and his arm was literally like that.
yeah,
It was
he was
for the
very close
viewers
to
at
the
home.
ball as
It's
well.
quite close to my body,
Yeah,
and it
he was.
happened to hit his arm, and they VAR'd it and gave us a penalty.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, but then there's probably been others the other way.
Yeah, there was the Martinez one in the Champions League where it hit off his own knee and into his arm.
Oh yeah, we had a few. We gave away a penalty in every Champions League
Yeah.
game that season, I think.
But I think it's about what you're trying to encourage and discourage again. It's
Yeah,
you are discouraging people from cynically tripping people in the box. I don't think you need to discourage people from sort of jumping naturally and massively discouraging that behavior by giving a huge reward for the team. That you don't deserve a goal if you put a cross into the box and it glances off someone's elbow.
no,
You don't deserve a
not
great chance at a
earned a
goal.
goal. No.
You've just been given a free goal,
Yeah,
basically.
and it's players can't control that
Yeah.
defenders, so there's no real perfect way to fix the handball rule.
No.
But maybe saying it has to be deliberate and just leaving that to the referees is as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Chris Sutton says a red card instead of a yellow card for diving and a 3-game ban.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't find diving as abhorrent as some pundits and
No.
managers do. I think it's
Yeah.
you're trying to gain an advantage.
Some people hold it in like a different category of trying to con the referee than the ball going off your foot and you saying it was a goal kick.
Yeah,
Which is maybe, diving for a penalty obviously is a very serious and game-changing thing. But a dive, the worst dive of all time, the Chris Smalling diving in the middle of the pitch, was never going to amount to anything.
Well, they scored from the free kick.
Did they?
Yeah, we lost 1-0 away at Newcastle, who were recently promoted. They scored from a free kick that was for a Chris Smalling dive.
Yes, I'm saying that I don't think Chris Smalling is attempting to gain a huge amount by diving.
No,
I think
he
he's trying to gain, a stoppage in play, maybe.
You can't
a free
apply
kick.
any logic to him diving there.
Yeah, there is. I think a red card is a very harsh punishment for, most dives, which are a bit of kidding and the same as trying to claim a corner that was a goal kick, which every player does all the time. Even though they know it came off them, they would always say it. They would always claim it.
For that as well.
Probably no. I don't think anyone would agree to that. So, but people have a weird thing about diving. I don't like it. I wouldn't. You don't. They always talk about you're encouraging kids to do it.
Yeah,
which
I don't really care about that.
Yeah, if a kid does it, then they should get booked as well. Like, it's just part of the game. It's fine. It's cheating, but it's not cheating like taking drugs. It's cheating like fouling someone and saying you didn't foul them.
Yeah,
it's almost identical to that.
Yeah. And last but not least, probably the most controversial one from Glenn Murray. He would get rid of the technical area for managers. Let them walk up the side of the pitch.
What a waste of an answer. They do that anyway. No one's ever been punished for not staying in their technical area.
Mikel Arteta goes walkabout every game. So,
unless you want them like round the other side of the pitch and like running up and down with the play,
like behind the goal for a penalty.
Put it that way.
Yeah, I assume he didn't have time to think of one.
Yes, maybe.
Just came up with that on the spot.
Was this one of them, as you're walking into work in the morning, questions that all the social media teams do?
Yeah, they do them on the overlap as well.
Yeah,
it's like who's the best player who never won the Champions League or something.
Yeah.
But what's annoyed me about the overlap recently is they've got a guy on the team who Gary Neville started wheeling out for all the guests. Look at this, he can name any United score, and the score is the last 10 years. And you got Roy Keane
and he's doing your
Paul
part.
Scholes and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying, "Wow, that's amazing." And I'm like, I can do that too. I just don't happen to work on a football show. I mean, I do now.
Yeah, should we do one? Let's see. Was United Spurs in Jose Mourinho's first season?
16-17 Spurs at home.
Yeah.
Oof. Remember the season after. See, the thing is, I can't do it as well.
Well, I'll cut out any of this if you want.
I think I know.
I don't
think I know that one.
No, I can cut this out. If you want.
No, it's all right. I deserve this. I've been said I can do that too. I mean, you don't know the answer, so I could have made it up.
But the viewers at home,
they'll be all there on their laptops looking it up. I'm going to kick myself.
16-17. What did we do that season?
We finished 6th in the league. We drew a lot of games at home, so we probably drew.
Yeah.
I remember the season before. I remember the season after. The season before we won 1-0. It was Kyle Walker own goal.
Nice.
Season before that we won 3-0 for Laney, Carrick and Rooney. Season after we lost 3-0.
There must be some specific reason why you can't remember
I know,
this one.
maybe I didn't watch
Maybe you were busy.
Yeah, that's...
Hang on. Let me grab the old Lappington top. I'm just watching a video about
I don't get any points for naming different games to the one you named, because that's it doesn't really count for anything. I'm annoyed though. I don't think we won. Did we win 1-0, Martial? That's my best guess. That we won 1-0 and Martial scored.
I have the match report here. Would you like to amend any of the things you've said?
I mean, I could have got the seasons the wrong way around. We definitely lost
Sunday, 11th of December.
Yeah, the one we lost 3-0 was in August, so that must have been 17-18.
Bobby Madley was the referee.
I think we won 1-0.
Okay.
And Martial scored.
United were rewarded for a dominant first half display when Mkhitaryan finished off Ander Herrera's through ball on 29 minutes.
I do remember that game. Yeah.
1-0 United. You got there. You almost got there.
I was thinking of a different game that we won 1-0 with Martial scoring.
Oh, right.
I wasn't.
You didn't need to say that.
Yeah. No, I remember the goal from Mkhitaryan. He scored a few times in a row.
Became the
away at Zorya Luhansk as well.
Yeah, he became the first Armenian and the 96th different nationality to score in the Premier League.
Well, yeah.
Well, there you go. Gary Neville's friend is
he's better than me. I got all the ones that they did on the episode the other day.
I
named them all. I knew them all.
Some random black spot.
Yeah.
Do you want it? We can redo that segment and I'll pick a different game.
No,
like another go.
I would like another go. Yes, please. But leave that in.
Okay. I struggled to come up with them now. Would you rather I win more modern or less modern than 1617?
You could go a couple of years either side.
Okay, let's have. You'll notice I said Jose's first season because I don't know the years.
Yeah.
Let's go for Louis van Gaal first season.
Okay, 14-15.
14-15, and I'm going to say Everton at Old Trafford.
And again, I remember the seasons all around it.
Oh, yeah.
But it must be a sort of a mental block.
Oh,
that's the one.
This is a very famous game. This
is it? Really?
Not a very famous game. It's a game that features a lot in sort of compilations. I think moments from this game. I'm thinking of one specific type of compilation.
Is it Anthony Martial compilation?
Not an Anthony Martial compilation, no.
Oh, balls this.
It's Blank's first United goal and a stunning display from Blank helped the Reds to victory.
Oh, yeah. No, I do remember it. I can't believe I needed that clue, but it was 2-1.
Yes, it was.
It was Falcao scored the winner.
Yeah.
Our first goal was scored by...
I don't actually have that.
Okay, that's fine because I don't remember. I know De Gea saved a penalty.
Yes.
I think it was the first penalty Leighton Baines ever missed.
And
Stephen Naismith scored for them.
Yeah, and De Gea made that ridiculous save at the end, where he sort of dives. Like he does it weird. He dives without sort of knowing where the ball's going to go, and then throws his arm to save it mid dive.
Yeah,
one of my favourite saves.
Yeah, I think it was Herrera scored our first goal, but don't quote me on that.
That wasn't really a clue, so I think you can count that as having it.
But that is a mental block thing where if you'd have told me the season after, I would have remembered that one.
Okay.
So I just can't get the one that you tell me.
that's quite the block.
Not an issue, really.
No.
Well, I've humiliated myself there.
Speaking of Everton, should we preview our next game?
We should, yeah. We should probably talk about the current United team at some point in this episode.
Well, it's more fun not doing that sometimes.
David Moyes back to Old Trafford again.
Not a happy hunting ground for David Moyes.
Not at all. I don't think has he ever had a point there even since he left?
Well, when he managed for us, he got a few. Not many. But he's never had a successful trip as away manager, has he?
I don't think so. No.
Since it's a returning manager.
Yeah. I don't think he's won away at any of the big six. He might have broken out in the last couple of seasons, but for a long time he hadn't done, including when he was at United.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean he's returned so many times that it's not really David Moyes' big return to Old Trafford anymore.
He's not. Yeah,
it's
a lot of water has passed
under
the bridge.
11 years since he was the manager.
He's managed a few teams since then, and we've had a few managers since then.
Yeah, you wonder whether it would have gone differently if we'd kept David Moyes. We gave him a 6-year deal and let him go after 8 months. We didn't really give him a fair crack.
But since then, he hasn't really shown.
He did very well at West Ham, but I don't think he's shown anything to show that he's a United
would have
manager.
Been the next Alex Ferguson.
I think he's a decent Premier League manager, but that's not what we're after.
I think it smacks of every other department in the club, which was the world of football is moving on and United are being left behind.
Yeah.
And keeping David Moyes would have been the same as keeping Ed Woodward for 10 years and not having a data department and not having a women's team and trying to, the wisdom of Fergie kept a great club from the 90s going for 10, 15 years longer than it should have done.
Despite everyone's best efforts.
Despite the club not being run like a modern club.
Yeah. And we didn't really give him a fair crack of the whip, but it was the wrong appointment.
It was,
And
yeah. He got,
he turned the Premier League champions into
yeah.
I mean, clearly a lot of the players didn't respect him, which means it was a bad
Yes, it
appointment
was.
because he wasn't right for those players. But
Yeah. It's, it'd be interesting to see what Everton turn up. Everton have had some good results this season.
yeah, they've been a bit of a mixed bag, really.
Yeah, they've been good at home. That new
Yeah,
stadium's been helping them out. But
yeah, they seem pretty happy with it. To be fair,
yeah, I don't think I mean, Goodison's such a legendary stadium,
yeah,
but I think it's as a match going fan, the legendary status of the stadium can often be distracted from by the dreadful experience of the match going fan and
yeah,
it not
yeah.
being optimized to have a nice time there.
Yeah, and with United's new stadium, there's lots of people, United fans, saying we should not build a new stadium. We
Yeah.
should stick with this Old Trafford. But I think the majority of Everton fans, however reluctantly, did concede that they needed a new stadium.
Yeah.
They were sad to leave Goodison, but most of them, I think,
Yeah. New
understood.
new stadia as an idea has been dealt two severe blows by the Emirates and the London Stadium, both of which you'd hope that decision makers wouldn't fall into either of those traps
Yeah,
of spending a fortune building a stadium that's not very good in the Emirates, and the fans don't. It's not got the thing. It's too modern, and it's not got the
yeah,
things that make a great football stadium, a great British football stadium.
yeah,
It's too European. It's exactly the same as the Stadio de Luz in Benfica. I
Is it?
think it's basically a carbon copy of it.
Right.
Um, and I don't think they'll fall down the London Stadium route because no one's going to give them a free athletic stadium.
No,
So,
and they might have other events at United's new stadium.
yes, you would hope it would be
like they do
a
at
football
Spurs'
first
stadium,
design.
but yeah.
Not-
The West Ham stadium, you see pictures of it, and it's the amount of space between the seats and the pitch is
Yeah.
so huge.
And I didn't realize the extent of it because I saw, this is very off topic. I saw, you see it from the TV,
Yeah,
and the front row of seats is quite far away,
yeah,
but sort of like a European athletic stadium.
yeah, yeah,
There's like a big plateau in the middle of some of the stands where the second tier of seats are much further away.
yeah, yeah. They're
Doesn't
far
bank
enough
up
away from the first set of seats. Never mind
doesn't
the
bank
pitch.
up like, never mind it, dead steep like at Everton. It doesn't even bank up consistently. It's got
Yeah.
a huge flat bit in the middle that just sucks up atmosphere.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's a great place to watch football.
No, I am not. It's not on my bucket list of stadiums to go to.
No, and I don't think most West Ham fans agreed that they needed a new stadium.
No.
Like most Everton fans did. So, anyway, back to football.
Yeah, Everton will be hoping that a new stadium would allow them to be more consistently out of the relegation fight,
Yeah,
which they're probably not in at the moment.
no, they're not in currently, and I've said this about Wolves, but I think they'll be fine. I don't
Yeah.
think they'll get too dragged into a relegation battle. I think
No.
they'll keep ticking over. I don't think they'll finish any higher than 10th probably.
No,
But
they've got some.
given they've been fighting relegation on the last day a few seasons
Yeah.
recently, and they were so miserable under Sean Dyche, it seemed like, especially with it being their last season at Goodison Park, and he was saying basically, that's nothing to do with me. I'm just here to get the best out of the team. I'm not going to do anything differently because it's that seeming like basically he doesn't care. Whereas when David Moyes came in, he clearly loves Everton. I don't think if he hadn't managed Everton before, I don't think he would have taken the Everton job at that time.
Yeah.
But he clearly loves the club and wanted to give them a great send off in the last season at Goodison Park, and he did do a good job last season. And they've not really got any better.
No, they've got some good players. I like Njai. He's exactly the sort of player who turns up at Old Trafford and does something amazing.
Yeah,
because he was, no one 5 years ago, and United have spent all this money on these fancy forwards. And
we should have got
this guy.
Him,
Sheffield United signed him for, £3 5 years ago, and United should have done that instead of signing Anthony for 100 million.
Yeah.
It's a very tired narrative. It's not a completely invalid narrative,
No.
but it's a narrative they love, and I could very much see something like that happening.
Yeah, they have some not good players as well.
They do.
They have
Mikalenko, who the Everton fans cannot believe is still playing for their club.
Yeah, and I don't think they're particularly happy with their striking options in Beto and Tiano Barry. I saw one of them came off for
Hmm.
the other day, and an Everton fan tweeted like a picture of someone having flashbacks, and then it was Cenk Tosun coming on for Solomon Rondon a
Yeah.
few years ago. They've it's been a problem position for them for a while. Because
Yes.
even when they had someone half decent, he was injured all the time, which is
Calvert
Calvert-Lewin.
Lewin, and now they've not even got him. And it's a position that other sides seem to be quite reliable at signing.
Yeah,
Like even not even just centre forwards, but they don't have an attacker. If you look at the number of attackers who've been through Brighton and Brentford,
yeah,
and even Bournemouth, who since Everton last signed a great striker,
yeah,
it's really poor, and there's not a lot of pedigree there for Everton.
yeah. It would have to be Lukaku was the last great number 9, I think. West Ham are another team who really struggle.
Cannot buy strikers.
Yeah, Fulkrug's now set to leave
Yep.
West Ham.
Yep.
There was their latest attempt. But yeah, they're an interesting side, Everton. I think we feel like we say that about everyone. But
What we don't say about everyone, we should win this game
yeah,
quite easily.
we should. If we want to go anywhere, if we want to believe that we have become a better side, we should be beating Everton at home. We even beat them last season.
Yes, yeah.
So that was under Sean Dyche, but
yeah, I don't know. Like the dividing line has seemingly been when a team really tries hard, they get joy against us, and when they don't seem that bothered, then they don't. I can see this, but I can see it being a Monday night game, Everton being quite passive, and it being quite a dull game that we win.
Yeah,
I
and
don't see
I'd take
Everton.
that.
Yeah, I don't see Everton turning up for a fight and
No,
trying to play us and go toe to toe with us because
no.
they might get some joy if they do that. But Moyes is quite risk averse.
Moyes' teams don't tend to do
No,
that.
I think I would be shocked if they had the run of the game. I think it would be it's United's game to lose, and hopefully they can show a bit of maturity and class and have better players and play better as a result.
Yeah, I think with the 3 home games we've got now before Christmas, Everton is one that we've always sort of done all right in.
Yeah.
And we should be, we should be confidently winning this game. Then West Ham, who we lost to last season, and they were terrible last season.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable that we managed to lose to them. We should be beating them
Yeah.
because they're as bad as they were last season. They might have turned a corner under Nuno now. It's hard to say at this point.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
we should still be beating them. And then Bournemouth, if we've won those 2 and maybe beat Palace in between,
Bournemouth's the sort
whoever
of
the other away game is. Bournemouth, that is a test because they are a good side. They beat us 6-0 on aggregate in the last 2 trips to Old Trafford.
And similar to when Brighton came, it's a good sort of yardstick for progression
for where we are
and whether or not because we lose these games quite consistently against teams that are willing to turn up to Old Trafford and fight.
Yeah,
we have a really poor record against them in the last few years.
Yeah,
and that would be a good sign to sort of a good marker to put down, as we aren't that mentally weak side that can be bullied off the park by a smaller club.
If we lose to Everton and West Ham, then beating Bournemouth won't really do much to sort that out. But let's start by beating Everton and then see where we go from there.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know what we're going to do about
recording. It's Monday night,
yeah. It's also your birthday.
It is.
Happy birthday.
Well, you're going to tell me on Monday.
Monday.
You're against the game, yeah.
So might have to record on Tuesday.
Maybe, yeah. I think I can do it. I think we can make it work. But
you normally go to the pub on Tuesday, of course.
I know, but I'm going to the pub on a Monday instead.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not the same.
No.
Well, there'll be something from us next week, definitely.
Yeah. We'll see what we can put together. Not that any of you listen, but you've told me to stop saying things like that.
And they do listen.
All of you listen, yeah. So, stay tuned. I'll try and get a clip out this week, although you guys they're not for you because you listen to the whole thing.
But don't not watch them.
Yeah, give them a like or whatever. I hope you've enjoyed the slightly different episode. We didn't talk much about United.
No, it's been slightly rambling, but it's been fun.
Rudderless, but in a good way.
Yeah. You can, we'll return to Rain Man Nathan in a couple of weeks. He's not had his best day at the
man
office.
Today. Rubbish.
Sleep man. Oh, I think you said sleep with a P.
No, sleet. Not rain. Just rubbish,
Overcast man.
Yeah. I've not covered myself in glory there.
But you'll have opportunities to redeem yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. That's one of them phrases that you never hear in the positive. No one ever covers himself in glory.
He has absolutely gone out there and covered
Yeah.
himself in glory. It
Like,
sounds a bit
Ronaldo covers
gross.
himself
Yeah.
in glory, but no one never says that.
Yeah, not covering yourself is usually a good thing. Not covering
Pervert.
yourself in something. You know, when it's like, there are very few positive examples of being covered in something.
Yeah,
It's always a bad
absolutely
thing.
covered in money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never like what you're doing this week. Oh, I'm going to get, maybe like a mud wrap or something, but it's almost universally a bad experience.
Yeah, but covering yourself in glory would be a good thing.
I know, yeah, but you can't always do it.
No, and I certainly didn't with my sort of United memory trick.
No, but you can redeem yourself.
Yeah, we go again. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Hope you've stuck around, because it was a bit, we're all over the place, but we'll have some more structure next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you out there.